Hi there YouTube, Extreme Trains here. We are rounding out the main three trio of the Metal Collection Push Along 80th Anniversary engines by in this video taking a look at James, who has landed in my hot little hands, and again I have resisted unboxing until I recorded this video. So what are we waiting for? Let's get to it. This is the box for the Metal Collection James. As you can see, much larger size in the larger style. I refer back to my Thomas and Percy videos in terms of the branding of this. I think, particularly on the James box, there's plenty of room. I don't know why the camera's doing that, but the focus for it to say Classic James or 80th James or something, just so it would be really clear to retailers and to parents that there are other options available. Otherwise, turn him around. It's nice to see this, the color. I can't remember if we've seen that on other ones, but again, missed opportunity to do something with the barcode and to have the other engines on the back, which is really, really annoying. But anyway, that's all we can say about that one. Let's crack him open and take a look. Here's James. We'll do the spin. Right, let's have a look at that face. Yeah, of the three of these I have had the pleasure of looking at so far, James, and this is some of the reviewers I've noticed have made this comment too. Oh, the focus doesn't like me. There we go. James definitely has the best face, I think. It's got all the crease lines are perfect, the eyes. I think this is an appropriate angle. They're not quite as slanted as Thomas's, so I think I quite like them. Love the eyebrows, love all of it. It's awesome. Stop with the focus. There we go. Let's see if I can lock the focus and that will make it better. We've got printed buffers, which is awesome. Love to see that. Again, you can see he does have the slope again, the same as Thomas and Percy on the cab and his sides. We come around to the side, you can see we've got some nice detailing. We've got the gold banding, we've got the lining, we've got the rivets, we've got the printing here for the handrails, which is interesting. Interesting little flourish for it to go down. I think what they were... Why is it doing this? There you go, locked it. I think the flourish they were trying to get is how it kind of is meant to come around here, but yeah, so that's a little bit odd the way they've done that design, but anyway, it is what it is. What you'll notice immediately, it's actually I think more obvious on camera than it is in real life, is that this part is all metal, but this part is plastic, and you can see the plastic is a different shade of red to the painted metal red. So this is the same plastic color as the running board, which is kind of a little bit more salmony. And this is your really bright kind of ruby red. So that's unfortunate that they couldn't match those colors a bit better. And you can see I've got a bit of a printing situation going on down here, but it certainly looks worse on camera than it does in real life, but something to know. Come around to the top here, you can see we've got the printing here. I really love that we've got a printed on whistle, which is molded, but it is not separately fitted, it's just printed on. We've got the separately fitted gold funnel, which is nice. Oh, sorry, dome, I should say. Come around to the back. Again, nothing here on the back. We've got hollowed out space, so you could put something there if you wanted to, but it'd be hard because there's this big block here. And then coming to the wheels, this is something I've seen some interesting comments about. We've gone back to the silver wheels, the silver grey. I don't know why merchandising lines do this. They're not. They're meant to be black. They've been black for so long. Anyway, it's weird. We've also gone to the gold coupling rod, which also some other merchandising lines I've seen have done that too. So I don't know why they've done this. I don't know if this was intentionally a bit. I think the gold maybe was because they wanted to minimize the number of colors of plastic they used, perhaps. Don't know. But yeah, I don't know whether this was a bit. And someone was like laughing about how James always has silver wheels, even though he doesn't have silver wheels at Mattel. I hope that was what was going on, but otherwise it is a bit baffling that they did that. Unless it's just to make him brighter so that he sells more toys. I really don't know. But yeah, you can see he's got James written underneath here. Yep, that's all. Again, 2025 copyright, which is interesting to see. And then we look at the tender, and I'll do a comparison in a moment, but as I understand it, this is the same mold as the All Engines Go tender, and I know some people don't like this because it's got these slants. Personally, I actually don't mind. And the reason I don't mind is because, as I was talking about in my reviews, we do have slants in this design. This is a slanted design, the way that it works. So I think that this is kind of, again, this has got a slant on it, a little bit of a slant. So I think, yeah, I think it is somewhat more consistent than perhaps otherwise might be. It's obviously got a new print to reflect more classic style James, which I think is nice. And then we've got printing again on the back buffers, which is good to see. And again, the small little wheels with the grey. One thing you can see a bit more clearly on this is that there's this black. This piece on the bottom is actual black, and then this is the grey colour on the either side. Let's try and do a comparison. You can see it's definitely, and this is Percy and Thomas are the same. They don't use actual black for their smoke boxes or their chassis. It's this like very dark grey colour, and that there on the bottom of the tender is what actual black looks like. And again, why the decision's been made, I've got no idea, but it's been done. And if we just couple James together, you can see it's a little bit more distance between the tender and the cab than I would like, but I don't think it's too bad. It's certainly not anywhere near as bad as on the tender engines from the Trackmaster line. But when we put them together like that, that is a pretty nice looking James. Let's do some comparisons. First comparison is James and James. So you can see here, this is the immediately preceding All Engines Go version versus the new version. Again, similar, but certainly not the same. Interestingly, this new James is actually much longer, so I'll detach them from the tenders just so you can see what I'm talking about. They've got a very similar design in terms of the chassis. You can see the back half of the chassis is the same, but you can see this new James is much longer at the front than the old one, which is interesting. And it's also interesting to see that the overhang of the back of James on this version is more than what it was on this version. So if you line it up like at the back of the couplings, the back of James ends further away from the tender on this version than on this version. And otherwise you can see generally it is a separately molded part, although interestingly, I'm just trying to see, no, I thought maybe they had used the same plastic piece, because this is also a plastic separate piece on this version of James as for this one, which would have explained the slant, but they haven't, because for example you can see that the whistle is different, and you can see that the slant on the roof is gone on this version, but we've kept the way that both of them slope in on the sides. So yeah, very, very interesting the way they've done all of this. So it's a very, very similar design, but it's not exactly the same. Fascinating. I would love to go inside the Mattel HQ and find out how this all works. Pulling the tenders together, you can see, yes, they are the same. Although, interestingly, again, the underbody of the All Engines Go James is all black. Again, that's black. You can see here we've got the two, it's kind of hard to see on camera, but there are two different colors of black happening. We've got the black on the bottom and that metallic-y gray color. We've got different wheels, but otherwise the bodies are the same. And you can see we've got that different printing on the classic version, but otherwise they are the same part. And again, I actually don't have a problem with that. And here are the three classic engines in the new classic style. James is huge. He towers over both Thomas and Percy. Look, as much as I hate that on one level because he didn't used to be this big, but if we are looking at the nitrogen, kind of CGI renders, James did grow huge for some reason. And so this is actually, in terms of the CGI, not that inaccurate. It makes me wonder how big Henry's going to be, because Henry obviously should actually be larger again. I have a feeling Henry's probably going to suffer in terms of scaling, because he'll be probably the same size as James when he should be a lot bigger. But otherwise, James, I think, fits in pretty well with these little cast of characters. And I know some people, didn't love the All Engines Go tender. I think it's a fine compromise. I think there's enough other weirdness going on in these that I'm not going to... Obviously, it would have been nice to get a new mold, but I certainly don't think it ruins James at all. I mean, he's already got some weird features like the gold cylinders, gold coupling rods and silver wheels. So everything about this line is a little bit weird, but I think it's fantastic, and I highly recommend that you go out there and pick them up if you can. All right, thanks for watching. That's all we've got time for. The 6 Train.